to strengthen the bond between India and its diaspora.
Multiple wildfires are consuming acre after acre and building after building in the Los Angeles area, displacing tens of thousands of people and ravaging entire neighborhoods. This, as strong winds and a dwindling water supply stymied firefighters' efforts to stop the destruction. More than 1,000 structures have been burned, making it the most destructive in Los Angeles history. According to CAL FIRE, the state fire agency, it is also among the top 20 most destructive fires ever in California. Now, this is based on the number of structures that have been destroyed so far. The toll of the quick-moving wildfires was only beginning to take shape. 5 people have died. Nicole Nishida, a spokeswoman for the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, confirmed.
Factor right now are the extreme winds, Santa Ana winds. They're at 100 miles an hour. They're gusting to 100 miles an hour. And this is just making the fire spread too quickly to fight in most cases. That's why it's so hard to contain. Then you toss that on. If you had just those winds and a normal wet season in the winter in California, you wouldn't have anything like this. But right now, California is seeing one of its driest winters, and it's not just a dry winter, it's a dry, hot winter.
Wildfires that ripped through the Pacific Palisades neighborhood of Los Angeles forced many Hollywood stars, including Mark Hamill, Mandy Moore, and James Woods, to evacuate their homes. Meanwhile, James Lee Curtis said on Instagram that her family is safe, but she suggested her neighborhood and possibly her home is on fire. She said many of her friends lost their homes. Other stars who have homes in the area include Adam Sandler, Ben Affleck, Tom Hanks, and even Steven Spielberg. Many are awaiting word on whether their homes survived the flames. Mandy Moore said her family evacuated too and has since tried to shield her kids from the quote-unquote immense sadness and worry that she currently feels. Meanwhile, Los Angeles fire hydrants ran dry as demand soared for water to quell wildfires that broke out across the country. For roughly 15 hours in California, water systems faced 4 times more than normal demand. Now, this lowered water pressure and caused some fire hydrants to even run dry, according to officials from the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power. U.S. President-elect Donald Trump is in Washington, D.C. on Wednesday, where he took the opportunity to criticize Governor Gavin Newsom for the lack of water, blaming him for the dry fire hydrants. Listen in.
The biggest homes, some of the most valuable homes in the world are just destroyed. I don't even know, you talk about a tax base. If those people leave, you're going to lose half your tax base of California. This is a true tragedy, and it's a mistake of the governor, and you could say the administration. They don't have any water. They didn't have water in the fire hydrants. They don't have water. And yet they have, the water comes from, you know where? Up north.
According to reports, a total of 1,095 aftershocks had been recorded as of 8 a.m. Thursday local time after a 6.8 magnitude earthquake jolted Tibet on Tuesday morning. Now, the powerful quake struck at a depth of 10 kilometers. The disaster has claimed at least 126 lives, injured at least 188 others, and caused the collapse of more than 3,600 houses as of Tuesday night. Aftershocks include 804 below magnitude 2.0, 258 between magnitudes 2.0 and 2.9, and 29 between magnitudes 3.0 and 3.9. That's not it. There were 4 between magnitudes 4.0 and 4.9. The strongest so far measured 4.4 in magnitude, occurring some 18 kilometers from the epicenter of the main quake. Now, the epicenter, located in Sogo Township, is home to approximately 6,900 people across 27 villages within a 20-kilometer radius. Dingri County, situated on the northern slope of the Himalayas, borders Nepal to the south and lies near the northern base camp of Mount Kumlonga, the world's highest peak. In an unusual move, US President-elect Donald Trump has asked the Supreme Court to call off Friday's sentencing in his hush money case in New York. Trump's lawyers turned to the nation's highest court after New York courts refused to postpone the sentencing by Judge Juan M. Merchan, who presided over Trump's trial and conviction last May on 34 felony counts of falsifying business records. Trump has denied wrongdoing. His team sought an immediate stay of the scheduled sentencing, saying it would wrongly restrict him as he prepares to assume office on the 20th this month. While the judge has indicated he will not impose jail time, fines or probation, Trump's lawyers argued a felony conviction would still have intolerable side effects. The U.S. Justice Department has said that it intends to release special counsel Jack Smith's finding on Donald Trump's efforts to undo the results of the 2020 presidential election, but will keep under wraps for now the rest of the report focused on the president-elect's hoarding of classified documents at his Mar-a-Lago estate. The revelation was made in a filing to a federal appeals court that was considering a defense request to block the release of the two-volume report while charges remain pending against two Trump co-defendants in the Florida case, accusing the Republican former Prime Minister, former President, and current President-elect of illegally holding classified documents. Greenland may become independent if its residents want, but is unlikely to become a U.S. state, Denmark's foreign minister said on Wednesday after U.S. President-elect Donald Trump refused to rule out force to take control of the Arctic island. Greenland's leader met with the Danish king in Copenhagen on Wednesday, one day after Trump's remarks thrust the fate of the mineral-rich land and strategically important island, which is under Danish rule, to the top of world headlines. Trump, who takes office on the 20th of January, said on Tuesday he would not rule out using military or economic action to make Greenland part of the United States. The same day, Trump's eldest son, Donald Trump Jr., made a private visit to the island. According to a Bloomberg report, President Joe Biden's administration plans one additional round of restrictions on the export of artificial intelligence chips from the likes of NVIDIA Corp, just days before leaving office, a final push in his effort to keep advanced technologies out of the hands of China and Russia. The U.S. wants to curb the sale of AI chips used in data centers on both a country and a company basis, with the goal of concentrating AI development in friendly nations and getting businesses around the world to align with American standards.
We're not giving up on that.
LeBlanc has decided not to run for the leadership of the Liberal Party, saying he needs to focus on countering the threat of tariffs from Donald Trump's administration. LeBlanc said he is grateful for the expressions of support from Liberal lawmakers and members across the country, but won't be a candidate in the upcoming race. The UK is braced for an icy blast with temperatures set to plummet as low as minus 16 degrees, as fresh amber snow warning has been issued. Snow and sleet began to hit southern England on Wednesday afternoon. Now this as the amber alert came into force, with the Met Office saying further warnings are likely to be issued as the week goes on. The Met Office has warned of travel disruption caused by the snow and has said some vehicles and passengers could become stranded. UK PM Keir Starmer and Kemi Badenoch clashed over whether there should be a national inquiry into child sexual abuse by Pakistani grooming gangs. The Prime Minister says there are mixed views amongst victims, but further inquiries, and what we need now is action, rather than another inquiry, but a quote-unquote world-first sanctions regime which specially targets people smugglers will be introduced by the government this year. The UK is expected to announce. The Foreign Secretary will confirm the measure in a speech today, saying it is part of Labour's plan to reduce channel crossings by targeting criminal networks organising these journeys. Here's what Starmer had to say.
This morning I met some of the victims and survivors of this scandal, and they were clear with me that they want action now. not the delay of a further inquiry. The J inquiry, the last national inquiry, was 7 years, which would take us with a further inquiry to 2031. I think action is what's required. Mr. Speaker, this is an important issue, and we have to focus on the victims and survivors, and it isn't helpful. This sort of lies and misinformation and slinging of mud doesn't help them one bit. Doesn't help one bit.
The UK government said on Wednesday that Britain will create a new sanction regime to target the ringleaders of illegal migration networks who facilitate and profit from smuggling tens of thousands of people into the country each year. The British government, under huge political pressure to cut the number of people arriving in small boats from France, said the laws would work alongside other reforms to help them target the gangs behind the trafficking. According to a statement by the Gaza Ministry of Health on Wednesday, the ongoing Israeli military operations in the Gaza Strip had claimed lives of at least 45,936 Palestinians, with over 109,000 individuals reported injured since a new round of conflict reignited on the 7th of October 2023. The statement said 51 people were killed and 78 others were injured due to Israeli attacks only in the past 24 hours. According to reports from the Palestinian official news agency WAFA, or WAFA, Israel conducted multiple airstrikes in Gaza City, targeting downtown and surrounding western areas, resulting in the deaths of 8 people, with several others wounded. Meanwhile, the Israeli military has said it recovered the body of a hostage from a tunnel in southern Gaza. Yusuf al-Ziyadeh, 53-year-old, who was kidnapped during the Hamas attack on Israel on the 7th of October, was found dead in a tunnel in the Rafah area, the Israel Defense Forces have said. The IDF claimed he had been killed in captivity and confirmed that the dead bodies of at least 2 Hamas operatives were found nearby. Will Lebanon finally elect a president after a 2-year vacuum? The country's parliament is set to convene Thursday to attempt to elect a head of the state for the 13th time during a presidential vacuum that's lasted over 2 years now. This time, an analyst said they might succeed. The primary contenders for the presidency include the Lebanese army's commander, Joseph Aoun, who is widely seen as the preferred candidate of the United States and Saudi Arabia. The candidate previously supported by Hezbollah, Suleiman Frangieh, on Wednesday announced he was pulling out of the race and endorsed Aoun. Meanwhile, the Russian military announced on Wednesday that it had attacked Ukrainian ammunition depots, while Ukraine claimed to have hit a Russian oil depot supplying a military airfield. The Russian Ministry of Defense reported Wednesday that the Russian army attacked targets including Ukrainian artillery pieces, ammunition depots, and an electronic warfare base station over the past day. Russian air defense systems shot down multiple HIMARS rockets and over 100 drones from the Ukrainian military. On the same day, in fact, the Russian military continued its operations in the Kursk region, destroying targets such as Ukrainian armored vehicles. With less than 2 weeks to go for President-elect Donald Trump's return to the White House, Washington will send its final tranche of military aid to Kiev. The U.S. is likely to give an additional $500 million in weapons quickly pulled from its existing stockpiles as the Biden administration works to get Kiev in a stronger negotiating position before Trump takes office. Now, the announcement is expected during Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin's final trip to meet with the Ukraine Defense Contract Group. Amid China's growing influence in the region, Taiwan's Navy held drills with fast attack missile boats and corvettes, part of 3 days of military exercises as concerns rise over potential cuts to the defense budget. Taiwan currently spends about 2.4% of its GDP, or roughly $20 billion, on the military annually. Now, these annual drills, held in the run-up to the Lunar New Year holiday, are used to reassure the country's population of Taiwan's ability to meet the dragon's threats and boost recruitment. It's time we step into a short break now. I'll see you on the other side.
Sometimes it's the little things that remind us of them. Stay close, even when you're far apart. Send money worldwide with Remitly.
Once a year with Photobox, your moments come to life. Love it. Wrap up your year, get 50% off, and create your yearbook with Photobox.
Hi, it's Phoebe from Auto Trader's monthly electric car giveaway, and we're pleased to say that you've won a brand new electric car.
It's a dream, honestly, it really is a dream. Oh my god. Me and my boyfriend talk about the Auto Trader competition every single month. I was waiting for the know you ever won.
Love a good deal? Try free to play Deal or No Deal, only at Tombola. There's up to £1,000 to be won. Get that good deal feeling. Open for fun.
I'll fix him, love. Poor pet. Just shows you never know what's going to happen. Which reminds me, I need to protect the life we've built. That's why I'm looking into Smart Family Life Insurance.
Hi, I'd like a quick quote, please.
OK. You can choose a benefit amount up to £750,000, depending on your age. If you're a UK resident aged 18 to 64, you can apply with just a few health and lifestyle questions. For £250,000 of cover, the price starts at just £14.77 a month.
That's less than I thought. And it could help my husband with the mortgage.
Just like families, not all life insurance is the same. That's why we offer the Smart Family Guarantee.
That's good to know.
You'll also receive a 100% advance in the event of terminal illness and 10% cash back on your first year's premiums. That's the Smart Cashback. Plus, you'll also get your choice of a £125 gift card.
Protect the life you've built the smart way. To get a free quote today, call our specialist UK team on 0800 977 5753 or visit smartinsurance.co.uk.
Family life. It's made of ups and downs, and those little moments. But should the unthinkable happen to you? Life insurance from Legal & General can help look after monthly bills, the roof over their heads, childcare costs, and most importantly, your family. Because no one protects more families in the UK than us. Premiums start from £5 a month and they never rise. Plus there's a £120 gift card after you apply. Legal & General. Ensure life goes on.
I've been thinking, I want to plan my funeral so it feels more like a celebration. My parents always said I was born dancing. I just love it. Bhangra, disco, even line dancing. So when my time comes, I want to have music, dancing, the lot.
With over 150 years' experience, you can count on Co-op Funeral Care to help you pre-plan the funeral you want. To find out more, visit Co-op Funeral Care or give us a call.
Welcome back. You're watching The World Reports. US private forecaster AccuWeather has said that estimated damage and economic loss from the California wildfire, already one of the worst in history, is over $50 billion at a preliminary level. Raging wildfires in Los Angeles have killed at least 5 people, destroyed hundreds of buildings, and stretched firefighting resources and water supplies since they began on Tuesday. Now, this meant fierce winds hindering firefighting operations and fueling the fires. Tesla directors, including Chair Robin Denholm and James Murdoch, got court approval on Wednesday for a settlement worth up to $919 million that requires they return compensation to the car maker to resolve allegations they overpaid themselves. Now, the settlement requires Tesla board members to include Denholm and Murdoch to return roughly $277 million in cash, $459 million in stock options, and to forego stock options for 2021-23, which amount to around $184 million. According to a court filing by the shareholder who brought the case, the settlement was not covered by insurance. Apple has clarified that it has never sold the data collected by its Siri voice assistant, or used it rather to create marketing profiles, just days after settling a case in which it faced such accusations. The iPhone giant last week paid $95 million to settle a class action lawsuit in which plaintiffs allege it routinely recorded their private conversations after they activated Siri unintentionally and disclosed these conversations to third parties such as advertisers. In a first, the European Union General Court ruled on Wednesday that the European Commission must pay damages to a German citizen for failing to comply with its own data protection regulations. The court determined that the Commission transferred the citizen's personal data to the United States without proper safeguards. Not only this, it also ordered it to pay him €400 in damages. Now, the individual had used the sign-in with Facebook option on the EU login webpage to register for a conference. The court, which hears actions taken against EU institutions, found that this transfer of the user's IP address to Meta platforms in the US violated European Union's data protection rules. Meanwhile, members of the European Parliament have said that the EU executive has been too slow in enforcing a major law intended to ensure good behavior of social media companies amid growing concerns about the aggressive forays of Elon Musk into European politics. Pressure on the European Commission Act is growing as Musk, the ex-owner and the world's richest man, prepares to host a live stream conversation on the platform on Thursday with the leader of the far-right Alternative for Deutschland, Alice Weidel. The conversation with Musk, whose website claims he has around 211 million followers, is seen as handling a significant advantage to the AfD as Germany prepares for elections on the 23rd of February. The top Australian telco Telstra has said it is collaborating with billionaire Elon Musk's SpaceX to bring satellite connectivity technology to its regional customers. Telstra has partnered with the satellite-based internet provider Starlink to bring the latter's Starlink to mobile technology to the land down under, or Australia, enabling the US firm to deliver satellite broadband connectivity directly to compatible mobile phones, particularly in remote and far-flung areas. Now, this is not the first collaboration between the two firms. In 2023, Telstra signed an agreement with Starlink to offer voice-only and voice-plus broadband services in rural and remote areas across Australia. The NHL postponed the Los Angeles Kings home game against the Calgary Flames on Wednesday. This as several massive wildfires burn across the greater Los Angeles area. The Kings and Flames were scheduled to play Wednesday night at the Kings downtown arena. The NBA's Los Angeles Lakers are scheduled to host the Charlotte Hornets in the same arena Thursday night. The Pepperdine women's basketball team also postponed its home game scheduled for Thursday night against the University of Portland at the Firestone Fieldhouse on the school's Malibu campus. Two-time Australian Open champion Naomi Osaka will be back on training court in Melbourne on Thursday. The four-time Grand Slam champion is continuing her comeback after taking time off from tennis in 2023 for the birth of her daughter. Osaka returned to the court last year, but the former world number one has yet to return to form. Her last title was her victory at the 2021 Australian Open. Out of control wildfires that swept across Los Angeles and Southern California on Tuesday night forced the Screen Actors Guild to cancel its plans to announce the nominations live Wednesday morning. Now, the nominations were instead issued by a press release. Notable television nominees include Shogun, The Bear, and Hacks. The SAG Awards, hosted by Kristen Bell, will stream live on Netflix on the 23rd of February. That's right, the 23rd of February. Bell is a nominee for the Netflix comedy series Nobody Wants This, as is her co-star Adam Brody. Actor Kat Dennings is returning to sitcoms thanks to the new ABC show Shifting Gears. The show follows Riley, which is played by Dennings, a mother going through a divorce who moves back into her estranged father's house. Her dad, Matt, who owns a classic car restoration shop, is played by Tim Allen. Riley and Matt haven't seen each other since Riley's mother, or Matt's wife, funeral, and their relationship is somewhat rocky. Denning said it felt exciting and unusual to be working opposite sitcom icon Alan on the show.
A lot of the crew has worked with Tim for 20 plus years, like since Home Improvement, since Last Man Standing. So the same crew has followed him through his career, which is, it says a lot. And it's just been a wonderful experience. And I know people say that, but I'm being honest. Like, I'm enjoying it so much. And everyone is kind, the jokes are really funny.
Well, that's all we have for you today. Take care and have a wonderful day.
Step into an unforgettable year with a VIP, a very important postcode. Because in People's Postcode Lottery's February draws, players in one winning postcode will each win £12,000 every month for 12 months. Fill your calendar with the things you've always dreamed of. Sign up before midnight on the 31st of January for you and your neighbours' chance to win £12,000 every month for 12 months. Is your door in the draw?
No child should suffer the torture of trachoma, but so many are in pain right now. Nananga's lashes have turned inwards. They rip and tear away at his eyes. Pomelo's sight could be gone forever. He's just 3 years old. Kofanga screams for his mother. His eyes are so infected that he can't even see her. For so many children in the world's poorest countries, trachoma is torture. It's a painful infection often spread by flies, and it's destroying children's eyesight. But it could be stopped if you help today. By calling 0800 021 3925 and giving £2 a month to Sightsavers, you can help make sure children get the treatment they desperately need. You'll help us bring them the medicines and the care that can treat infections. And that means you'll be helping to save children from the torture of trachoma and a life of blindness. Please help us reach them. Call 0800 021 3925, text C7 to 82727, or go online and give just £2 a month now. Because we need you to help save the sight of children like Nananga. We need you to help save them from the torture of trachoma.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news is here.
From interesting tech startups to industry-leading companies, politics, sports, culture, curry, cricket. Oh, there's so much to talk about. Like me, if you too thrive on interesting conversations, this is a show you cannot miss. Watch this space to know more about all matters and all people that make Britain what it is today. Out of Britain, with me, Radhika Iyer.
Very good afternoon. You're watching NDTV 24/7. I'm Divya Vatwa. Let's get you the very latest, and that is in regard to Prime Minister Modi, who has inaugurated the 18th Pravasi Bharatiya Divas convention in Odisha. The Prime Minister arrived in Bhubaneswar on Wednesday, where he was welcomed by the Chief Minister and the Union Minister Dharmendra Pradhan at the airport. The event is being organised by the Centre in collaboration with the state government from the 8th till the 10th. Multiple wildfires were consuming acre after acre and building after building in the Los Angeles area, displacing tens of thousands of people and ravaging entire neighborhoods as strong winds and dwindling water supply. Firefighters' efforts in order to stop the destruction is going in vain. More than 1,000 structures have burned. 5 people have died, making it the most disruptive in Los Angeles' history. It's also among the top 20 most destructive fires ever in the state of California based on the number of structures that have been destroyed. And wildfires that have ripped Los Angeles forced many Hollywood stars, including Mandy Moore and James Woods, to evacuate their homes. Jamie Lee Curtis said on Instagram that her family is safe, but she suggested her neighborhood and possibly her home is on fire. She said many of her friends had lost their homes. Other stars who have homes in the area include Adam Sandler, Ben Affleck, Tom Hanks and Steven Spielberg. Many are awaiting a word on whether their homes survived the flames. Mandy Moore said her family evacuated too and has since tried to shield her kids from the immense sadness and